All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardinellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And Andrew Yang broke the rules. The rules of engagement, of safety, and he took his hands off the steering wheel in that last ad of his, and apparently it's caused a little bit of a hullabaloo, because that, my friends, is not in the owner's manual. Cody, tell us what's going on.
So we'll start off. First of all, we're on the ad. I think it's a 30-second ad, so it's very quickly. You can see in the headline right there that this was a Tesla controversy I had not been privy to. So before we get you guys involved in this, let's check out this ad and see what he actually did.
The biggest reason we lost to Donald Trump is because millions of jobs were lost to automation in a transforming economy. I'm the only candidate who built a nonprofit that's created thousands of jobs. To defeat Trump, we need someone with the experience of tackling the economic challenges of our time. I've done that. And if you don't think automation in a transforming economy is costing jobs, think again, because it's happening right now. I'm Andrew Yang, and I approve this message.
Okay, so that is the video that is causing such a ruckus on amongst people who are Tesla owners and Tesla bloggers, I guess. Anyway,
a veritable hullabaloo.
So what happened is, and I guess you can see the headline right here, it says Andrew Yang misuses Tesla Model X's autopilot function, taking hands off the wheel. In a new campaign ad, Democratic presidential candidate takes both his hands off the wheel while the driving assistance feature is in use. A big no-no. Something I had never heard until about 2 days ago when this started becoming an issue, I guess, for most people. I guess, again, facetiously an issue. Not really an issue, but people are writing about it for whatever reason. So it says, Democratic presidential hopeful Andrew Yang has been big on what automation will do and has already done to the American economy, but he may have been a little too enthusiastic about the technology in his new campaign ad. In the new advertisement, embedded above, thank you, Yang is seen driving a Tesla Model X with an autopilot engaged. At the 20-second mark in the 30-second long spot, Yang is seen driving the electric SUV with both hands off the wheel while on the road. So I'll pull the screenshot up. I like how they left the investigative footage. There we go. There's the proof. Andrew Yang's hands are off the wheel. By the way, one thing.
Now, is this a breaking of the law, or
we'll get into that? It's further on.
Okay.
Now, one thing I'll point out, I'm not the biggest Tesla fan, but I do love that giant iPad style monitor or display they have inside of them. It's a cool idea. I wish more cars did it, but. Anyway, so here we go. You have the proof. Andrew Yang does indeed take his hands off one more time just for evidence. And oh my God, there's the bad boy breaking the rules themselves. However, first of all, I wanted to just, I love this. I think this is CNET article I pulled up. They reached out to both the Yang campaign and Tesla for a comment. I'm going to say immediately. That's one of those things where they decided to reach out when they decided to write the article. I'm like, it's done, just publish it.
Okay.
I mean, they go on to mention that Elon Musk has been seen doing this multiple times. I think the whole pitch of the self-driving car is I don't have to actually drive the car. So if the rules say I have to actually drive the car at the same time, it's not really self-driving, but this is where they explain it. They say that's not how autopilot's supposed to be used. Tesla warns drivers every time autopilot engages with a message reminding drivers to keep their hands on the wheel. Do I have this one open yet or not? I did not. So the other one to show. So
okay.
And this is the thing. So this is what I wanted to get into, which is kind of funny about it. We'll go back to Andrew Yang for a second. But basically, this is going back with this article from May 29, 2019, a reoccurring thing in the... some of you guys out there probably own Teslas, probably going to be laughing at us. I did not know about this Tesla controversy. But anyway, they go into it and say, recently there's been a kerfuffle online about how the Tesla Model 3 is dangerous. It changes lanes unsafely, and it cuts drivers off like a rich guy in a BMW. Ha ha. I'm here to tell you, dear reader, that these claims are ridiculously overwrought. And this week, after fielding multiple emails and texts, and they go through and they go on to mention, where is it? It took me a few months to find a happy place autopilot where I didn't feel annoyed by it and where I was confident working alongside it in my regular driving conditions. Stick to a single lane, try to avoid cruising in lanes with exits, and take full control of the car when I needed to exit the freeway or engage course for a junction. Then Navigate and Autopilot came around, and I was excited to test it. Anyway, they go through this. My larger point is this. There's a big I don't want to make a whole big Tesla thing. I want to get back to the Yang thing for a second. But basically, and it seems like autopilot is a really awful, not good function ever. And you really should be like, it seems like it's cool if what it actually is I flip a switch and then I could take a phone call, send an email, eat a sandwich, and then, oh, I'm driving. If I have to like, okay, holy cow, let me get in my autopilot lane. So anyway, this was not the only article, however, going by Andrew Yang. Now, this one they mentioned a little bit, but there's multiple articles. Yang broke Tesla's one big autopilot rule in campaign commercial. Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang has talked about the automation industry in his campaign, but he could stand to learn a few things when it comes to how to drive autopilot. Yang's latest presidential campaign commercial talk focuses on the automation industry, including him driving a Tesla. There's one catch, though. When he's behind the wheel of the Tesla Model X, he takes his hands off on autopilot, which if you know anything about Tesla models, that's a big no-no. And it just layers me. They go through and describe it again. While using autopilot, it is your responsibility to stay alert, keep your hands on the steering wheel at all times, and maintain control of your car. Before enabling autopilot, the driver first needs to agree to keep your hands on the steering wheel at all times and always maintain control and responsibility for the vehicle. I didn't know that autopilot's basically not... It's cruise control 2.0 at that point, isn't it? Where I'm still driving the car. I'm still driving it. You'll help, I guess. I don't know. I just thought that really stood out to me as a funny controversy. And I was let in on, no offense, Tesla owners, but if that's how your fancy cars work, yikes, man. That's not that doesn't sound good at all. Even Andrew Yang's like, I can't, what's the point of me showing myself driving the car and being like, I assure you, the vehicle's assisting me in doing this. Like, the only thing you can do is lean back and take your hands off the wheel.
Some bureaucratic owner's manual mumbo jumbo made by the same people that outlawed the ability for somebody to drive in the back of a truck in 1996 in California.
I thought that as well, but like I said, you'll look at, and there's multiple people saying that. Like I said, here's the TLDR on it. Autopilot, particularly Navigate and Autopilot, is in beta, and people should not treat it or expect it as anything more than a helpful.
To me, that's all
assistant.
Just insurance disclaimers. So when something goes wrong somewhere where it's unverifiable that it wasn't the car and it was actually the human, the person can say it was the car and not the human, and then lob a $10 million lawsuit at him. You do a lot of protection by putting these kind of stupid clauses in there. But all of us know that Tesla makes it so you can drive without using your hands.
Well, Andrew Yang at least wants to highlight it.
Like, all of us understand the reality. If we are landing stealth bombers, okay, on aircraft carriers with no pilots, coming in hot at 50 knots and landing in less than 50 feet in the high seas when the whole aircraft carrier is going like this, based off of just autopilot controls similar to those in a Tesla, I really think he's fine.
Well, I don't personally care. I just thought it was funny. It illuminated the controversy I didn't know exists, the taking your hands off on autopilot controversy. But I don't know. One of those things where it shows you try to have fun in a campaign ad, do anything. Hey, I'll drive a Tesla. That could be neat. Oh, sorry, man. Fun police are going to come out and write an article saying, oh, you're supposed to have your hands on the wheel at all times. It's like, dude, what he's doing in this part in the ad, it's essentially a half step removed from driving with your knees on autopilot on cruise control. You know what I mean? Like, he's going straight. There's walls on both sides.
Yeah.
I thought it stood out as, now, one, Andrew Yang is big enough where they will just write ads about they'll write articles about anything related to Andrew Yang.
Okay.
But two, man, I guess you got to be careful when you wade into that world of Tesla. You're going to have some people freaking out on you and misuse it. I mean, like,
either that or it's the silly people that own them that all of a sudden consider themselves self-important because of their purchase of a Tesla. These early adopters who we give credit for taking the reins of an electric car when it was still in its infancy. But I mean, come on. I don't know. This makes me laugh more than anything, and it's absolute proof that no matter what you do, you cannot please all people, therefore why even try?
But the last thing to keep in mind, and I will say this is, I found more of these as well, it is real, and I want to make sure I do mention it, is that there was legitimate concerns about people getting in accidents while the car was on autopilot because they were, I'm assuming, sending an email, eating a sandwich, or doing something differently. Which, if it's a real thing, however, I don't know.
Well, you should be your own second driver. It's just like there's huge statistics that show that the vast majority of accidents are prevented by oftentimes a second person in the car. It's like, whoa, that sees something. Okay, because four eyes are better than two, right?
I don't want to rag too much on Tesla owners, but for the privilege of being able to drive my car with both my hands and my full attention, I'm spending $7,000. Look at this. Tesla's Autopilot is the manufacturer's driver assist system, which can keep the vehicle centered in a lane, change lanes, and navigate exit and entrance ramps on the highway while engaged. The feature is a $7,000 add-on.
Yeah.
But if If
Woo!
it does all of these things while both of my hands are on the wheel controlling the car, that doesn't really interest me that much. I mean, I do those things while I'm like in my passenger
They
seat
just have
sleeping.
to say
like,
that your hands are on the wheel
Well,
to
no,
avoid the legal ramifications.
No, and one thing I understand is, there's probably issues with it, some issues in control. Dude, there's a lot complex equations are going on. What was it? There's some like sci-fi movie and they're talking about with like robots, but that was interesting when they talked about somebody doing like throwing a baseball, and they're like, there's so many weird complex things that we just feel we do in them that we have to explain to a machine. How do you explain to a machine just when you kind of got into the other lane right where it's kind of curving a bit and you slow down, you sped up, and you like there's that feeling when you change lanes, you're just kind of that's nestled in about right there. Cars don't know that. So I don't know. I don't want to get onto a ragging Tesla thing, ragging Tesla thing. I just thought it was funny doing some looking around for Andrew Yang. We are definitely hitting the drought because everyone's waiting for the 4th or the 3rd for these votes to come in, mainly Iowa caucus, New Hampshire. So now we're getting articles like this where Andrew Yang is dangerously misusing the Tesla by taking his hands off the wheel. But I don't know. Personally, I have no issue with it. I say more power to you. If I'm spending $7,000 to add this thing to my car, you can believe I'm not keeping both of my hands. I'm not going to drive the car while it's on. I'm sorry. If I define driving the car, having both hands on the steering wheel, staring at where I'm going and actively steering. That's essentially driving the car. I guess you're not controlling the speed, but
That's funny.
at that point, you're just operating the motor vehicle. I do not
You're
have.
a purist.
I think Andrew Yang handled that exactly right.
Your grandchildren are going to be like, Granddaddy, tell us about when you were a kid. And you'll say, we drove cars. Like we held on to say, what? You're ancient,
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm fine not driving the car. It's just if it drives the car for me, then let it drive the car for me. I shouldn't have to be basically driving it while it's driving it fine. I'm done.
Yeah. So anyway, let us know where Cody went wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Let us know your guys' opinion in the comments below. If you haven't had a chance yet, please like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at PSP Radio 1, and make sure that you follow us on the live streams Monday and Thursday night, or join the channel if you like an additional members-only stream. This is Problem Solver Politics. We'll see you guys in the next video.